Huxley is by far one of the most credible voices when it comes to air combat on the Hill. She was shocked by the news and demanded further information about the plan. The summary of these exchanges is that the USAF is seriously considering axing the F-15CD fleet entirely, if it's not outright planning to do so already. The plan does not include the F-15E Strike Eagle. This is totally new, as the Golden Eagle force of roughly 179 F-15CD, as well as training aircraft, is slated to serve for decades to come and is in the process of receiving a series of extensive upgrades to see that it can do so credibly. Many of the jets have already received multi-million-dollar APG-63V3 active electronically scanned array (AESA) radar sets, vastly increasing their capabilities. Currently, this is the most powerful and capable fighter-borne air-to-air radar in the world. In the F-15C's place, the USAF wants to put upgraded F-16Cs sporting their own smaller AESA radars. The generals at the hearing stated that the plan is a tough choice that would lead to fewer types of aircraft to support overall, thus freeing up funds for other priorities. The service could make the final decision as early as this year for the 2018 fiscal year budget, or more likely it could insert the plans into the next budget cycle. When grilled by Huxley about where the USAF is exactly in this so far secret decision-making process, the panel replied that the matter is still pre-decisional. It sure sounded otherwise. This news impacts a whole slew of critical issues and is clearly reminiscent of the A-10 retirement saga of the last half-decade. It is true that many of America's F-16s are in need of a major avionics, structural and radar upgrades. The USAF has deferred these to help fund the F-35 program. You can read all about this issue here. The question of whether or not to upgrade the USAF's F-16s never had anything to do sacrificing the F-15CD community in the process. The vast majority of the Eagles are tasked with both overseas contingency operations and for protecting America's airspace at 5 operating locations that ring the U.S. coastline. In addition, the move would throw out much of the work that already been done or is underway on upgrading the F-15Cs, as well as efforts building tactics and unique capabilities that will allow the Eagle to become a force multiplier for F-22s and even F-35s. There is also the question of the dwindling size of the USAF's tactical fighter fleet, which has dropped down to just 55 squadrons, a shadow of its pre-Operation Iraqi freedom self. The force is already incredibly strained, and the USAF F-15CD community has been essential in providing a deterrent force along Russia's border with Europe under Operation Atlantic Resolve. Finally, with only 187 F-22 Raptors ever built, and just roughly 125 combat coded at any given time, the retirement of the F-15CD will mean America's air superiority-focused fighter force will become more or less a niche capability. Although some have hoped that the F-22 could go back into production, and supposedly the USAF was undergoing a study of the feasibility of doing just that, it is highly doubtful this would actually happen. This is not so much due to the logistical or financial hurdles involved, but because it would threaten the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program. In the end, all USAF fighter dollars seem to get pulled into the stealthy fighter's budgetary black hole. We'll save the analysis for later, but clearly today's news will send ripples through the USAF, especially among units